Hey everybody, it's tea time with the diva. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, because we're going to get into it. Many people are in an uproar about Amber Rose supporting Donald Trump. And we're going to talk about it here today. So really get your tea, get your coffee. I'm not going to come at Amber Rose past, right? We all got a past. So just because you have a past doesn't mean you can't change the course of your future. And it also doesn't mean that you do not have the right to speak on certain subjects because of what you did and who you were in your past or how you currently conduct your life. Listen, everybody has the right to vote. So, and I'm not saying this is Amber Rose, I'm giving you an analogy here. So let's just say that, I like to walk the street in risky clothing. Maybe I like to twerk, um, drop it low and spread it wide. That doesn't negate the fact that I still, when it comes to serious subjects, have the right to speak on those subjects. And everybody, no matter who I like or don't like, everybody has the right to like whatever presidential candidate they want and to speak good things about that candidate if that's what they want to do, right? We're in times where it's very tense, and we love to say we have the freedom of speech, but then when someone freely speaks on a subject that they are passionate about, we like to be in their face like, are you stupid? How could you think this, that, and the other? Open your eyes. So just the way we are passionate about our candidate, why don't we allow individuals to be passionate about their candidate? Just like we say we have freedom of speech, why are we not okay when someone freely speaks and they say something that we think is crazy? We want to, instead of addressing the topic and the subject, we want to knock them down. Once you insult somebody, no matter how much truth you have to disseminate to them, or truth according to you, you want to tell them, they're not going to hear any of that. All they heard is the fact that you insulted them and they can't get past the insult. So, no matter how much good information you have that you want to talk to them about, they're never going to hear that because they're stuck on the fact that perhaps you might have called them stupid. So, I say all of that, and we're going to get into, Amber Rose backing Donald Trump and what she's saying. I will also add this to the conversation before I get into this article. Many people, they equate money that is perhaps given to them. They don't think about the time period in which this money was given to them and why it was given to them. They think about, during this time period, and I'm going to reference the pandemic, a lot of people, when they were home and they was getting unemployment and a stimulus check, they ended up coming out in the black, so to speak. And what do I mean by that? They was making more money or had access to more money by being at home collecting unemployment and getting the stimulus check, because for a lot of people that amounted to more money when they was physically going to work and in the hustle and bustle. So as a result, in their mindset, they're thinking, you know what? Wow, during that time, those were great times for me financially. Who was in charge during those times where I financially was doing well? They're thinking Donald Trump. So they're keeping their thought process on that surface and saying, I want Trump in because when Trump was in and I was in a crisis, those were some of the best financial times of my life. So I would like to see that time period in my life again. And I'm not saying all candidates are thinking like that, but I feel like a lot are in that time frame and that one little time slot, and that's what they're thinking. I do believe that part of Amber Rose's speech was saying, when she was saying gas was low under his reign, families were great, we was able to put food on the table. Well, gas was low because no one was in the street driving. You got to think about everything as a whole versus as in a little silo, right? So gas was low because nobody was in the street driving, no one was going to work, everyone was on lockdown. So the gases, there was no competition, right? Because nobody was buying gas for the most part. Anyway, guys, let me stop talking and let's get into the whole Amber Rose situation. So here's why it's important to have Amber Rose speak at the Republican National Conference, okay? According to those that, and are embracing her and love her.
The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes. Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank
you. All right, let's continue here. Last week, I had the inevitable task of explaining the Hawk Talk girl is to my curious boomer mother. This week, it will be Amber Rose, thanks to the primetime speech at the Republican National Convention on Monday night. Yes, that Amber Rose, the former stripper turned video vixen who truly arrived as a pop culture figure on the arm of Kanye West, whom she dated from 2008 to 2010. The mixed-race mother of two was married to rapper Wiz Khalifa and hosts Slut Walks, which are feminist events to promote sex positivity and protest gender inequality. She's flashy and wears clothing so tight it could be painted on. And she has slashed and bashed her son's names tattooed across her forehead. On the surface, we don't have much in common. My large tattoo is across my backside, nor will she be mistaken for a homegrown product of the Young Republicans chapter. Yet, in her nearly 4-minute RNC speech, Rose made a compelling case for unlikely political conversions. She began by describing a highly relatable experience, a political disagreement with her 45 loving father. Rose said her Trump curiosity began when her dad challenged her belief that the former president was a racist. To prove my father wrong, I did my research, she said. Spoiler alert, she has a red hat now. But at its core, hers wasn't really a heavily partisan speech. It was mostly about the so-called kitchen table issues and independent thinking. Rose bemoaned the price of groceries and gas. And when you turn on the news, you're just exhausted. Inflation is out of control. And you know in your heart, it wasn't like this under Donald Trump, the 40-year-old said. It was not her celebrity or notoriety that made her interesting. It was her willingness to change her mind, break stereotypes, and admit it on such a big stage. Rose is no doubt from a completely different world with different views on abortion and likely a host of other issues. Yet she still found common ground with a party that she previously dismissed on its face. Staunch conservative Mike Walsh turned up his nose at the choice. The RNC gives a primetime speaking slot to a pro-abortion feminist and self-proclaimed slut with a face tattoo whose only claim to fame is having sex with rappers, he wrote on X, adding, truly an embarrassment. Not a single voter will be mobilized by this person. It would seem he wasn't yet the Republican candidate, a thrice-married playboy who allegedly cheated on his wife with a porn star. If the right ever had a purity test, Trump ripped it up and threw it in the trash. And this is what Mike Rose said about Amber on, formerly I want to say was Twitter, right? Now X. The RNC gives a primetime speaking slot to a pro-abortion feminist and self-proclaimed slut with a face tattoo whose only claim to fame is having sex with rappers. Truly an embarrassment. Not a single voter will be mobilized by this person. Interesting enough, I think what people miss is that no voter is like 100% just perfect. No person is perfect. So I get what Matt is saying, but unfortunately, the reality is a lot of people can perhaps relate to Amber Rose, right? A lot of people, as we're seeing, relate to Donald Trump. Not here to tell anybody who to vote for. And I'm not here to say, oh, I'm a Trump fan versus a Biden fan or a Biden fan versus a Trump fan. I'm here to have the conversation of, this is what's currently going on in our political world, and people are polarized for their candidate on both sides. Both the party already has the evangelical vote locked down, and no one ever grew a moment by strictly preaching to the choir. On paper, Rose might look like an imperfect messenger, but the substance of her message was perfect for undecided voters. Speak for yourself and don't tie yourself to a narrative. The Republican Party has inarguably morphed and shifted under Trump. Conservatives can argue the merits of those changes. Rose shows that there's a place in a party for a wide swath of people, not just herd right pro-lifers. It's actually more like the GOP, I already know. I watched all the rallies and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters, Rose said. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. She represents the idea that we can look different, have different thoughts on cultural issues, and still arrive at the same place, with similar ideas to fix the problems that concern regular Americans. She also represents the possibility that on the fence, voters who, have had the wrong idea about the right. We are in unique times when our traditional politics binaries have been scrambled by a host of issues. Classical libs have moved right because of wokeism. Jews found themselves alienated by the Democrats at the October 7th. Then there's an unraveling of the Biden campaign and his infirmity, and his handler's unwillingness to acknowledge it has taken center stage. The right is without its problems. There's a reason why being politically homeless is a widespread phenomenon. And what they mean by that is there's people right now that's saying because they don't like either candidate, they're like, listen, I'm a vote third party, I'm a vote independent, I'm gonna write my own name in. It's just so messy right now. There are votes up for grabs, and if Republicans want to win, they need to continue to broaden the base. And Rose, believe it or not, did an effective job of moving the tent pole last night. Now, listen, I don't know Amber Rose impact on anything, but maybe if there was somebody who is undecided, somebody that actually connected with her, maybe she did move the needle for them. As for me, I have my own thought process on this situation, and Amber Rose's speech didn't waver me or pull me to this side versus that side, because I can go a little bit beyond just the words that are coming out her mouth about what times were greater and when families had it better and who's not racist versus who is racist. And I don't know exactly the definition of what makes someone racist. And what I mean by that is if you say one wrong thing out your mouth, does that make said person racist? Or do we go by a track record of things to come to the conclusion that perhaps someone is racist, or maybe, they just simply truly don't like, well, which is racism, right? One culture on a whole. I will say this, Amber has her thought process and she did her research, but from just Trump's time that I know, according to my research, that happened to people within my culture. I don't know if I'm leaning towards the side of him being not racist, but Amber has her thoughts and I have mine. I go back to the Central Park Five. I go back to even his show, The Apprentice. There are some other things that I can, add to the conversation to say, okay, I'm on a different track and I'm thinking a little differently. But that doesn't mean that that cuts down everything that Amber Rose says she researched and she believes, right? So listen, guys, this is one of those polarizing subjects that it tugs the hearts at people on both sides, and then that's when in the middle the tension just rises and it gets so crazy. But I will say this, above all, where I'm standing at is Amber has the right to support whatever candidate she wants, no matter how she looks, what she did in her past. If she wants to back the person that she wants as a candidate, she has the right to do that. And that's the conversation I'm trying to have right now. But anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments. And when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Everybody, thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, just let me know your overall thoughts on the situation and how you feel about Amber Roach's speech, and just what do you think about the whole situation overall. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.